welcome back to another video, and if you haven't guessed already, today we are doing an absolutely gorgeous Valentine's Day makeup tutorial. So I'm going to be doing this really pretty smoky eye with a bold red lip, because I don't think Valentine's Day is complete without a bold red lip. So if you want to see how to create this look, then just keep watching. So guys, just before we jump on into this video, I just want to let you know I have already done my brows off camera, just because I use the same brow routine all the time. I just use the Revolution Pro brow pomade, and I also use the trusty brow coat to lock them into place. I've done that already. Also primed my skin with the Embryolisse Lait-Crème Concentré. I really love this. It's a really nice multi-use primer, and I've just stuck a little bit of the Palmer's coconut oil lip balm on my lips, and then I've done this eye just for ease, because obviously once you see me do one eye, you don't need to see me do the other as well, if that makes any sense. So we're just going to jump in. I'm going to zoom you on in a little bit, and we're going to start with this eye and create this really pretty red burgundy Valentine's eye look. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be carving out this brow and priming my lid. And today I'm going to be using the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I'm using the shade NC15. This is just a really nice concealer to carve out the brows. I just use a really flat brush just so I can really precisely get in. I'm just priming that eyelid and carving out that brow by just literally dragging the product across the eyelid area, and then I'll pat it out underneath that brow just to get an even finish. So you're just taking that all over the lid, and you want to take it all the way up to the bottom of your brow. Take the very edge of that brush to really precisely carve out that area. And then what I'm going to do is you just pat that concealer down once you've got it in the place that you want it to be. This method just takes a little bit of practice. Once you're used to doing it, it's really easy. But you just want to make sure that there's no creasing in your concealer, and then I just like to go around the top of the brow as well. So once that is done, I like to just set that in place with a little bit of powder, and I basically just use the excess that's already on my brush, and I've been using the Glow and Ray powder, so I literally just use whatever's already left on my brush and just pat that onto the lid. Just make sure there's no creases in your concealer, because once you pat it with powder, if it's creased, it's going to stay creased. Then to make this a more drugstore friendly tutorial, I'm going to be going in with my I Heart Makeup Chocolate Rose Gold palette, which looks like this. I love this one. It's got some really pretty pinks and red tones in, and I really wanted to create a burgundy gold eye look for this Valentine's Day look. So the first shade I'm going to be going into this pinky brown shade to start with as my first shade. I'm just going to place that here, and then you just take that in circular motions. Always circular motions, just because it blends the product out better, and the product doesn't then tend to stick to a certain place. And I just do that circular motions back and forth till it's nicely blended. What I've totally forgot to do today, which I did on the other eye, is I'm just going to take a bit of artistry tape, which you can get from Primark, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the corner of my eye, just so I can create a really nice sharp wing. We all make mistakes. This tape's amazing if you're not very confident with doing wing liner, because it literally just makes your life so easy. And now that's nicely blended, I want to go in with this deep red here, and we're going to blend that out underneath. Just go slightly underneath where you've placed that other colour, and do the same thing again, just circular motions back and forth. You tend to use a lot of circular motions when you're taught to do makeup. That's how I was trained, just because it disperses the product a lot nicer, and like I say, it makes sure the product doesn't particularly stick to a certain place. So now I'm going to cut my crease. I'm just going to go back in with my MAC concealer, just the excess of whatever's left on the back of my hand. I'm going to take that back on that flat brush, and then I'm just going to carve out the crease. Best way to do this, I find, if you want like a really easy tip, is I always start in the centre and just pop a little bit there, and then if you look up, it'll mark out on your lid. You can see there where you want to actually take your concealer to, because that's where your eyelid sort of closes to, and that's a tip that I learnt when I was doing my makeup course. And this is just about make sure your brush is coated. Definitely want to make sure your brush is coated nicely, and you want a really nice flat brush so you can get quite precisely in there. I swear by this Pro brush in P3. Honestly, I live for this brush. I need to get another one. I just take that all the way to the edge of the eye. Make sure you get it as even as possible. So then once I've done that, I'm just going to go with whatever excess was left on my brush, and I'm just going to fluff this onto that corner where I've just put the concealer, just so it blends the two shades together when I put gold pigment on top. It's harder to do that once you've put a pigment on top of it. So then I'm going to be going in with the PSI pigment in this gold shade. These come in a pack of 3, and you can still get pigments from Primark. They do lots of different shades, and this gold's absolutely gorgeous. I take a packer brush like this, I spritz it with a little bit of fixing spray and just coat it with that pigment. You want to make sure it's quite packed with the pigment, and then you're going to pop that on top of the concealer and just press that in. I always like just to fluff again a little bit more colour on top. And then because it's Valentine's Day and I just want to give it a little bit of extra glitz and glamour, I have gone in with a little bit of the Pixie Fairy Lights in the shade Sunray. I just took a little bit of this on the back of my hand, then I put this on my finger and just tap that on top of where I've just laid that gold pigment, and it just gives it that little bit of extra dimension, glitteriness, and it just looks really pretty. So now while that's drying, I'm just going to run a little bit of eyeliner in my waterline. I'm using the Endless Silky Eye Pen by Pixie in the shade Matte Mulberry, and I'm just going to run this in my waterline underneath my eye. And then I'm going to go in with my Bourjois liner feature and just draw on my cat liner. It's really easy when you've got the artist's tape on because you literally just follow the guide of it. Basically, I'm just going to draw my line across where that tape is. And then I'm just going to let that dry a second because I don't want to peel the tape off until it's dried because it will bleed. See how it's like a nice sharp line once you've peeled that off. Then I'm going to go underneath the eye and I'm just going to go back in with those 2 shades I used on the eye. So I'm first going to go in with this lighter pink here, then I'm going to go in with the deep red, and I'm just going to run that on top of the liner underneath the eye. And then I'm going to go in with my eyelash curlers and just curl my lashes. I always do this before I apply falsities. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go in with my Lola Infinite Lashes mascara and just coat my lashes. It's a really good mascara there. Then falseeyelashes.co.uk, which are an amazing eyelash shop, and basically they do like every lash you can ever think of. They do kiss lashes, they do the unicorn lashes, which I really love, which are what I'm going to be using today. They were kind enough to send me over some lashes for this Valentine's Day tutorial, so I'm going to be using these absolutely stunning unicorn lashes in the style Lemon Meringue. They're very wispy and fluttery, and I absolutely love these. I will leave the link to their website down below because they do some fantastic lash brands, and basically you can get them all in one place, so it's super easy to shop. So I'm just going to put some of my lash glue onto these, and then we'll let this dry and then pop on the eyelash, and that is near enough the eye's finished. While I'm letting the eyelash dry, I'm just going to go in and highlight my brow bone with the Dull Light highlighter in Shine Bright. I always highlight my brow bone with this. Again, I always dampen my brush when I'm using things like this, and I'm just going to do my inner corner and my brow bone highlight. And then once this lash is dry, we can stick this on and we can move on to my base. Just waiting for that to dry a little bit. So that is the eyes complete, and now we're going to move on to the base, and I'm going to be using the Kat Von D foundation today in Light 47 Neutral. I have been loving the Revolution foundation, but I've just like looked in my drawer and I was like, do you know what, I haven't used this for a while, and when I normally go on like nights out, which that's why like I haven't been out in ages, or like proper special things, I tend to use this because it's really full coverage. So I'm going to use this today just to see what it's like again. I might be shocked to my system because I'm so used to using a shade that's like bang on my skin tone, where this is normally like my tan shade, so I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but we'll give it a go anyway. So I'm just going to pop some of this on my face. I just like to dot this around. Totally forgot how thick this was. It's been a while. That'll do for now because I can't remember, literally it's been that long, I can't remember how like well it spreads out and things. So I'm just going to go in and then blend this out now with my beauty blender. I do still really love this foundation though, like I just love the finish of it. So now I'm going to go in with my Collection concealer. I always do triangles under the eye. I do a tiny bit down the bridge of the nose, a little bit on my chin and a little bit on my forehead. And then I just blend that out again with my sponge. Right, so then I'm going to go in and I'm going to set that in place, and I'm just going to use my Glow and Ray powder, pat this in on top. Then I'm going to go in with the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I've just got the little mini here, and I'm going to sort of, I don't contour like really, I go in with like a matte bronzer, and then I like to go in with a shimmery bronzer. So I sort of class the matte bronzer as like my contour, if you like. And I'm just going to start with those cheekbones in circular motions. I love this multitask face brush from Real Techniques for the bronzer. And then I'm going to do my forehead, and I'm going to do my other cheek. I always just do circular motions and then drag back. Then I'm going to go and warm that bronzer up with a little bit of the Protocol Ginger Splash Baked Mineral Shimmer. This is just a really nice like glittery bronzer. You just want a little bit of this because you don't want to overdo it. And I just do the same thing back over the top of where I've just done that contour. Just gives you a healthy glow. Like to tap back over it a little bit with that powder brush, just because that shimmery bronzer, just to knock it down a notch a little bit. Then I'm going to go in with a blush. I'm just going to use the Protocol Baked Mineral Shimmer in Apricot Swirl. I tend to use the same products all the time. I'm a bit of a fiend. I'm just going to do a little bit on the apples of my cheeks, not too much, I don't want to overdo it. Then we're going to go in with highlighter because it has to be done. I'm going to go in with the Doll Beauty Shine Bright highlighter. Take a little bit of fixing spray on my brush, circular motions, don't drag it too far down. Yes. You don't want it to be too thick either. Do a little bit on the forehead, down the bridge of the nose, and then I like to do it on the cupid's bow, but I always take it on my finger because I just think it picks up and places better when you do it on your finger with your cupid's bow. Then to make that highlighter really pop, I'm going to go in with Doll Beauty Like a Diamond, which is just a lighter shade of highlight, and I'm just going to take a thinner brush. Again, I always spritz when I'm doing highlight. I'm just going to take a little bit of this on my brush, and then I'm going to go inside of that highlight just to really make it pop. Yes, queen. I mean, this is if you're someone who really likes a highlight, which is me. Ooh-wee. Love that. Then a Valentine's Day look for me would not be complete without a red lip. So I'm just going to line my lips with the Pure Colour lip liner by New Look. I know they don't do makeup anymore, but I've only really got New Look lip liners because I don't wear a lip liner very often. So I'm just going to line my lips with this because it has to be a red for Valentine's Day. Yes, queen. So guys, I'm just going to go and get changed into something a little bit more Valentine's Day, just to go with this look a little bit better, sort my hair out, and then I'll be back with this Valentine's Day glam look and show you what it looks like completely done and completely finished. So guys, this is my Valentine's Day eye look, Valentine's Day glam look. I've gone for a red smoky gold eye with a red lip, and I've got this gorgeous black dress on. I just wanted to put something on that would really suit the look. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching this Valentine's Day tutorial. If you have, then please make sure you've hit that subscribe button. Please make sure that notification bell is switched on and give the video a thumbs up. And if you've got any comments or any suggestions for videos, then please do leave them down below because I always listen to what you guys have got to say and I want to hear what you've got to say. So guys, I shall see you in the next one. Mwah. Thanks for watching.